Hey, hi everyone, welcome to our very first lecture of the MongoDB series. And in this particular video, I'll explain you that what is MongoDB Atlas, how we can create the account on it, and how we can create the database, and then we can get the MongoDB Atlas connection string, right? So make sure that you watch the lecture till the end, right? So let's start. So first of all, we need to come on our browser and search for MongoDB Atlas and go to the first URL, right? Now, when you come, this is the interface of the MongoDB Atlas. This is how it looks, right? So before starting, you need to create your account. So for that, go to the sign in, and here you can either use your Google account or GitHub, right? So yeah, after that, just click on this I accept the privacy policy and the term of services and submit. So after submitting, let's wait. So this is the main interface of the MongoDB, right? By default, there's a one database which is project 0, right? We need to create more, so we can create more projects, right? And this is how it looks. So let me explain you that how you can create your own project here. So first of all, you need to click on new project, and here you need to give your project name. Let's say programming underscore knowledge, right? So just click on the next, and after that, if you want to add some members to this particular database, you can write the name of the user or email address, right? Till now I am the owner, so I'll just create it. Now our project is successfully created. You can see on the top the programming knowledge, right? Now let's do few more things. That is, first of all, we will give the network access. So we need to add an IP address, right? So one thing that you need to know, that while working on some local project, what you need to do is that you allow the access from anywhere. Normally we do that. Otherwise, if you want to add any particular IP address that address can only access this database, then you can provide that. Otherwise, as a developer, right, we use this allow access from anywhere. Just make it confirm, done. So you can see this is the IP address 0.0.0.0/0. This is your current IP address, which is inactive, means it is in the process, right? And it will get active in a few minutes, right? So let's go to the cluster now. And now here we are going to build our cluster, which is very important part. So just click on build a cluster. After that, you will see such kind of interface, right? Normally we use the free version, right? So just click on the free. After that, you can choose whichever you want, right? Choose the region nearby. Let's search for Mumbai, right? Yeah, and that is all good, right? And if you want to change the name of the cluster, you can do that also. So let's name it mm, programming, like this. Got it? Let's name it programming and just create this. So I'll just create by clicking on this create deployment button. And yeah, this is how it looks. Just a second, I think my window got cracked. So here you can change the username which you wish, right? Just change the username to some coding master, let's say, right? This is the username I'm setting, and the password, you need to remember your password, make sure, right? So let's do one thing, that my password is ABCD1234. This is what I am doing, right? I'll just copy it also. And yeah, let's now choose the connection. So first of all, create the database and then choose the connection, and we use go to this connect to your application. So driver, right? Just click on it, and the driver is Node.js, the version is 6.7. And before starting, make sure that in your Node.js, just go to the terminal and write npm install MongoDB, right? And here, from here, you can get your URL. This is your connection string, right? This is your connection string. If you click on the view sample codes, then here you can get the complete line of code, how you connect and everyone. You can see Mongo client on the top, right? To work with the MongoDB. Okay, let's just close it and just save this, right? And now after this, just go on the done part and done. It is taking time. We are loading the sample data set to the programming, right? So yeah, it is doing something like that. Let's wait for it. So yeah, it is done now. So if you want to see the data which you have created from your backend side, right, or you have inserted anything, right, you can check it from here in the clusters. You can see on the top there's a database and then the cluster, right? This is the name of our cluster, which is programming, which we set, right? And by the connect we got the connection string, right? And if you go on the browse collections, here it loaded some sample data like this. So you can see this is the sample database, right? And these are all the collections. So these are the data which is added by them, right? We have not added this. We will delete it. Like before working with it, we will drop the database, right? So yeah, you can see. So like this, that we can see our data, right? This is the second collection, which is creators. And when you go on it, you can get the data about the creator also, right? Yeah, so that's it. Now if you go to the network access, so you can see our this 0.0, which is access from anywhere, is now active, right? So the main task was basically to get our connection string. So when you go to the connect driver, right, you can see it is present here. And when you go to the full code sample, you can get your connection string, right? So that's it. So just copy it and use it. So this is all about how we create our account on MongoDB, and how we create our cluster, and how we get our connection string from the MongoDB atlas. So thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular video, we are going to learn about that how we can connect our MongoDB Atlas with our Node.js project. So for that purpose, you need to come to your database. So currently I'm on the programming knowledge, right? So here you can see I can get the cluster on the top. Just click on it and you will come to this kind of interface. Now here on the top, you can see a button or naming connect, right? So just click on it. After clicking, you can see the driver on the top, right? Just click on it, and now on the bottom you will get your connection string, right? So simply just copy it, and after copying, right, just come to your Visual Studio Code now. So here I am having index.js file. So let's set up the Node.js environment. So I open my terminal. Here I'll write npm init-y, press enter. And you can see my package.json file is now ready. Yeah, so the main is index.js. Got it. Now let's open our terminal again and let's make it clear. Yeah, so here what we will do now, we will install the MongoDB. So write npm I MongoDB, press enter, and it will start the installation process. So yeah, it is installed now. So you can see in the dependencies there's a MongoDB available, right? So let's come again to our index.js file and start our work of making the connection, right? So first of all, import Mongo client from MongoDB, right? After this, we will add the MongoDB Atlas connection string. So MongoDB Atlas connection string, right? So for that, let's write const URL equals to, and that string which you copied, right? So put the string and like this. Make sure that you add your password here, right? After if you see here, let me show you. So when we go on the connect and on the driver, you can check. Here is the name of our username, which is username, right? After that, we need to insert our password, right? So this is the main structure. So this is the username, and then this is the password, right? Make sure while creating your password, you do not add any special character to it, especially at the rate. Don't dare to add this at the rate inside your password, right? Because this will create the error. Got it? Now, after doing this, we will do what? I will create a client, right? So for that, let's write const client equals to new Mongo client, put a bracket, and write here URL. Yeah, URL is this. So we have created a client using this particular URL, right? And named it client. Now after this, we need to add our database name. So whatever your database name is, just add it. So I'll write const db name equals to, now my database name is, let me show you, is programming knowledge, right? And make sure there is no gap between the name. If there is a gap, then fill it with the underscore, right? So let me write programming, then underscore, because there's a gap, knowledge, like this. Yeah, now after this, what we need to do, we will create a function. So let's create a sync function, asynchronous function, naming main, right? Like this. Now inside of this, first of all, I do what? I will add a try catch block, right? And inside the try catch, first of all, I will connect to the atlas, connect to atlas, which is our main task, right? So I'll write here await client. Client is what? This URL. Client is holding the MongoDB URL, right? So client dot connect, like this, put a bracket, that's it. Now after this, what you need to do, just do one thing, that console.log and connected to MongoDB atlas. So earlier we given all the details, like whatever the URL is, we created the client, we given the name of our database, right? And after that, inside the main function, whenever we call this particular function, then our connection will be set with the MongoDB, right? So whenever this connection will be set up, then our this line will get printed, which will show that yes, our, like, the MongoDB is being successfully connected. And in the error part, let's write console dot error and write here the error, right? That's it. So let's see that whether it is working correctly or not. So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's clear it out and write the node index.js, press enter, and it's taking time. Okay, there is some error. Let me check. Fine. So the problem here is that we are using the import. Well, import is used when we have the type as module, but here the type is CommonJS. So remove it and write here module, right? Let's just save it and go to the terminal again, and let's clear it out. Clear, and write node. Okay, let me just save it first. Yeah, node index.js. Now press enter. So it is taking time to make the connection, right? Okay, so nothing happened. Why? Okay, we have done one more mistake. Let me make everything clear to you, that the mistake is that we have created this particular main function, right? But we have not called it anywhere, right? So for calling it right here, main, like this, right? And now save it, and I think it should work now, right? So let's write node index.js. Okay, let's first clear everything. and write node in index.js, press enter, and yes, you can see our MongoDB is now successfully connected, right? So this is how it is working. Why it is showing me connected? Because every time when the client will get connected with this particular URL, then it will show me this line, and we got that in our terminal. So it is showing that our MongoDB Atlas is now connected successfully with our project, right? So this is all about today's video. This is how we connect our MongoDB with Node.js, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how we can create, list, and drop the database and collection using the MongoDB, right? So let's start the lecture. So basically, I have written some code for you. It is basically a connection for the MongoDB. I have used the MongoDB Atlas URL, right? Then created a client, and this is the name of my database, which is programming knowledge, right? And afterwards, let's move forward. So what I'll do, first of all, I make the connection, right? So let's create the try catch block here, and here inside the try, first of all, I'm going to connect to the Atlas, right? Okay, let's just make our copilot sleep for a few minutes, right? So yeah, first of all, what I'll do is connect to Atlas. And how we will do it? Simple, just write await and client dot connect. That's it. Got it? Now after this, let's move forward toward selecting database, right? So first of all, let's just make a message to be dropped in the terminal when the connection will be done. That will be what? That will be connected to MongoDB Atlas, right? Yeah. After this, let's select the database. So select database, and here I'll write const db dot, basically db equals to client dot db bracket name, right? Not db name, basically we have used the db name earlier, right? db name, like this. So here we are using this particular name, which means the name of our database, that's we are going to use. And with that, we have selected our database now, right? Now after this part, let's make another message to be printed, that is using the database. Let's use the backtick here, using database. Let's put a dollar sign here, and inside of this I'll just write db dot database name, right? db is this, and here I'm writing the database name, right? So yeah, after this, let's move forward toward creating a collection. So let's create a collection, right? How we do it? Just write const collection equals to db dot collection, put a bracket here, and let's name the connection as students, right? So I want the name of the collection as students, and here I'll write after, like, when the collect this will be done, I'll write here created collection students, right? Now after this, now let's insert the document, right? Let's insert some data, basically. So this is the collection, right? So we are going to use this to insert the data. So let's do the task for insert document. Here I'll write await collection dot insert one. I'm going to insert a one data, right? So here I'll insert our, basically, our object, which is name as, let's say, Piyush, and then put a comma here, the age as, let's say, 22, then the course is, let's say, let's keep it btech only, right? btech, like this. So this is our data, and by using this particular line of code where we use this collection, right? This collection is what? This particular student collection, right? It is holding that. So inside of this, I insert one data, which is name, age, and the course, right? And after this, we just write console.log and inserted one student, right? Like this. So till now you understood that how we connect to Atlas, then how we select the database, how we create a collection inside that database, and after that how we insert a document, right? Later we will show you that how it working, like the correct output of it. But till now, try to understand that what is the proper code to do that, right? So yeah. After this, basically after the insertion of the document, now we are going to list all the collections, right? So list collection, right? List collection, and here I'll write what? I'll write uh let's say const collections, right? Const collections equals to, and here I'll write await db dot list collections and dot to array, like this, right? So we have used what? We have used this db dot list collection, and all the collection came, and then to the array, in the form of array we are taking that. So this is doing what? This is making the list of all the collections that our database is holding, right? So I'll show you that what we are going to get. Let's just print it, right? So console dot log and bracket, and here I'll write, let's take it, collection in database. Let's put a comma here, and collections, this collection is holding that array data, right? So I'm going to use the map on it. So I'll write dot map, the bracket, let's see, and c dot name, right? So I want the name of all the database, sorry, all the collection inside the database. So we will get that, right? And after that, what we will do, we will, like, when we want to drop any collection, we can do that. And let's just see that what result we are getting till now, then we will move towards the dropping, right? So let's go to the terminal, and here we will write node index.js, node index.js, press enter, and let's wait until the collection our, like, this database get connected. So yeah, it is connected, means it, first of all it is connected to the Mongo database Atlas, then it is using the database programming knowledge, right? And then it's created a collection named student, this one, right? Created a collection student, and then it inserted one data, and that collection name student is present here. So let's go to the database and see. So this is our database. Let's refresh it, and you can see now it is having basically a collection programming knowledge. This is the database. Basically inside of this we are having this collection student. When we go on it, you can see I'm having data here, the name, the age, and the course that we inserted, right? So it is having, from here you can see we have inserted the name, age, and the course that is present there, right? After that, when we were listing it, so what it is showing me, basically it is showing me this student only, because there are only one collection present here, which is students, right? If you want to create more, we can create that. That's a task for you, but since we have created only one, so we are getting that here. Got it? Now let's move forward toward dropping the database. So how we drop it? Let's move forward and write drop database. How we drop it? So simply just need to write await db dot drop database, db dot drop database. This will delete your database, right? And inside of this, just put the semicolon afterwards, and let's print console.log, and here I'll write drop database comma db name, right? So db name, this particular, yes, right? So this particular database will get Now drop means deleted, the complete database, and since the database will get deleted, so all the collection will also get deleted, right? So let's just save it and run it again. So what I'll do, I'll just start it again like this, and yes, it has deleted the programming knowledge. Let's see that it is still now present here, but when we will refresh, you can see the database is deleted. Now nothing is present here, right? So this is how we actually create the collection. This is how we insert the data, and this is how we list our collection, and then the delete our database. So I hope you understood the lecture, that how we do all these tasks in the MongoDB easily, just using these methods, which is collection, insert one, list collection, drop database. This is what you needed to remind, right? Just keep the notes of it and keep practicing, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to insert and view your first document in MongoDB, right? So this is going to be very interesting because we are going to insert our first data to our database, right? So how we do that? Well, for doing this, let's first do one thing, that we first give our database and the collection name. So I'll write here const db equals to client dot, then after giving this we will write db client dot db and then bracket, and here we will give this database name, which is db name, right? So we have stored the name of our database inside our db variable, right? Now after that, let's create our collection. So for that, const collection equals to db dot collection, and put a bracket, and inside of this write the name with which you want to create the collection. So I'm going to create it with the name students, right? So students, like this. So this is going to be your collection name, right? Now how we insert data? Well, I'm going to show you that how we insert one data, right? So I'll write const insert data equals to await, and after that write the collection, write this collection. So collection dot insert one, right? And then put a bracket here, like this. Now after putting the bracket, just press enter and put this curly bracket. Right now inside this curly bracket we will give the all the key and the values. So we'll write name, and the name will be, let's say, Aman. Put a comma. The age, let's take the age as 22, and the city, right? The city will be, let's say, Delhi, right? So in this way we will insert the data to the database, because we are having this collection here, right? And this collection is made inside the database. The database name is programming knowledge, and inside this particular collection we are inserting the data, which is this. You can see this is how it works, right? Now after this, let's print that data, or I will show you there, right? Just print here, data inserted, like this. Got it? Now after this, let's print it, right? So let's save it and go to the terminal, and here let's write node index.js and press enter. So you can see data is inserted. Now let's go to the database, and here let's check by clicking on this browse collection. To check your data, right, we go to the browse collection, just click on it, and you can see here on the top I'm having programming knowledge. This is the name of our database, and this student is the collection. If you go here, you can see this student which we have created, right? This is the collection name, right? And inside of this we are having our data, which is name as Aman, age as 22, city as Delhi, like this. Got it? So this is how we insert the data inside the MongoDB. Right now it's time to see the data. So let's just do one thing. Let's comment it down, and after that let's view all the documents. So to see all the documents from there to our terminal, we do what? We just write const uh, let's name it student equals to await collection dot find, right, and then dot to array. Since we are going to get lot of data from there, right, that's why we put it inside the array like this. Got it? Then just print it. So console.log and student like this. Got it? Let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's clear it out and write here node index.js. Press enter, and you can see you got your data from there to your terminal, right? This is the data where name is Aman, age is 22, city is Delhi, which is what we inserted there, right? So this is how we insert and view our documents in the MongoDB to our Node.js. So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how we can perform the create operation in MongoDB using the insert one and insert many method, right? So first of all, what you are seeing here is our connection, right? We use our URL, and then we made our client, then we set up our connection with the Atlas, and now we have created our collection name student, right, to our database, which is this programming knowledge. Now for inserting the data, what we do, we just simply need to call our collection, right? So let's first create a variable. So const insert one equals to await collection dot insert one, not like this, but this one O should be capital, right? After that put a bracket, and then just press enter and put this curly bracket. Now inside of this we will give the data that we want to send, right? So let's say I want to add the name as Aman, right? Or let's name it something like Piyush, right? And the age as 34. Let's add one more field, which is the city, right? So the city name, let's say Delhi, right? So after doing this, just come out and let's do one thing, that is console.log and inserted one data. So when this particular task will be completed, then our this particular line will be printed. So we will get to know that the operation is finally successfully completed, right? So let's just save it and go to our terminal. Okay, some previous tasks are present here. Let's clean it out and write here node index.js. Press enter, and you can see first of all the connection was made from here, and then our data was inserted. Now let's see our data by going to our MongoDB. So you can see here we are having our database programming knowledge, the collection is students, and inside of it we are having our one document which we inserted. The name is Piyush, age is 34, city is Delhi, right? This is how we insert that. Now let's see the another method by which we can insert more than one data at a time, right? So let's just comment it down and go below. Now it's time to learn about insert many method, right? So const insert many doc equals to await collection dot. Now earlier we done what, insert one, but now we will do what, insert many, right? Insert many where M should be capital. Put bracket here and then press enter, but before pressing enter make sure that you create an array first. While sending lots of data at once to the MongoDB, we create it in the form of array. So let's create an array like this and press enter. Now inside of this, you give your data like the same way which you given earlier, right? Let's just copy it and paste it here, right? Let's create another, let's paste it here, another, let's paste it here like this. Let's change the name. Let's change the name to Ria. The age is 24. The city is, let's say, UP. The next name is, let's say, Raj. The age is 44. And let's keep the data same. And here, let's name it Priya, like this. Got it? Let's just save it. And after this, console.log inserted many data. Let's save it and go to the terminal, right? Write node index.js, press enter. And yes, inserted many data. That means our operation is successfully completed. Now let's go back to our database and refresh it. And now you can see our three different data which we added here, right? Ria, Raj, and Priya is now inserted also. Priya, Raj, Ria, and this Piyush was the earlier one, right? So this is how we insert our data using the insert one and insert many in MongoDB, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the reading of data from the database using the find one method and the find method. Now, what are these methods? Well, find one method return a single document that matches a query. Query means like you given any condition that let's say that name should be Piyush, right? So from all the data set that you are having, it will return you the first data set which is holding that particular condition, right? But only one, the first data, right? And similarly the find. Now what different with find? Well, it will return all the matching documents with the particular condition that you have given. So in case if you have not given any condition inside this particular method, it will return you all the data set. But if you have given any condition in that particular case, it will return all the matching documents containing that particular condition. So I'll show you practically that how we use it. Let's go to our code. So basically here you can see that I have created the environment for our MongoDB. First of all, I imported the Mongo client. Then I used the URL of my MongoDB Atlas, and then I created my client. I given my database name. Then I made the connection with the Atlas. Then I selected my database, which name is this programming knowledge, right? And after that, I created the collection, which is name of student, of course, right? Now, moving forward toward using the find. But before that, let me show you my database. So this is my database. Here I'm having the database name programming knowledge. Then this is my collection student here, and these three are the data set: the Piyush, the Ravi, the Anita, right? Got it? Now let's move forward toward using our first uh, operation or the method, that is find one. So let's write find one like this. So how we use it? Well, using find one means that it will return the first matching document, right? So let's start with creating a variable name const one student equals to, I'll write await. Then since this is our collection, if you are not having any collection, then it will do what? This particular line of code will do what? It will create a collection name students, right? But if it is holding any collection already that's name is student, then it will give you the reference of that, right? So now this collection is having the reference of my collection here, this student, right? So this is what we are going to use now. So let's use that. So I'll write collection dot find one, right? Then put a bracket here. Now I told you now that you need to give a condition. Based on that particular condition, it give you the first matching data. right? So for giving the condition, you need to put curly bracket inside this parenthesis, and from the given data set, you can see here's the name, then age and the course. So let's say I want the data set whose name is Piyush, right? So I just need to write here name Piyush, right? And since this is the value, so you need to give it inside the string, right? Like this. Got it? So this is how we use the find one. Now let's see the result here. So I'll write console.log and let's just write this find one result and comma one student. This one student is holding that particular data, right? So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Here I'll write node index.js, press enter, and yes, you can see what I got here. Basically I got this. Let me show you. You can see here that connected to MongoDB Atlas. This is what we have done earlier, right? Now the main data is here. This find one result is showing me the ID, the name, the age, the course. Means it has given me the data set, the complete data set of that in which this particular condition of name as Piyush is satisfying, right? So this is how we use the find one. Now let's move forward toward using the find method, right? How it works. So basically for it's working, you just need to come here and let's put a comment here, find method, right? So for find method we just write here, sorry, const all student equals to await, need to put await here. After that, collection dot find, find, right? Now this is the find method, and inside of this, if I don't want to give any condition, that means I want all the data that is stored inside this student collection. In that particular case, you just put a curly bracket like you did earlier here also, right? But you don't write anything. In that particular case, if you don't write anything, it will actually give complete data set, right? But one thing that you need to remember, that when you are using this find method, you need to convert your data into the array form, right? So just write to array because there are a lot of data that is going to come, right? So you need to store it inside something, so that's why we use this array. So to array method that we use, and like this, and after that let's print it out. So we'll write console.log. Here I'll write a find, let's write the find result, and let's put a comma here and I'll write all student variable, since this is holding all the data, right? So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let me just comment this down, right? I don't want to show you that. So let's just go to the terminal, let's close it, let's run it again. So I'll write node index.js, press enter, and you can see I got all the results, right? This three data that were having inside the collection, right? This three data only, and we got all the three data here, and this is how we use it, this find method, right? Now let's move forward toward again understanding this find method, but this time with a condition. So this is very important basically. So we just use the find with condition, right? Now just write const. What I'll do is that basically I'll use this age as a condition, right? I'm going to use this age key as a condition here. So let's just write here older student equals to await collection dot find, and inside of this we will write age column and then put a curly bracket here. And since if you want that a particular age, then you can use the method that you use here also, right? But I want to give condition so that I can get lot of data which are satisfying the condition. So in that particular case, I'm going to use that age to be greater than 21. Let's say this is the condition that I want to give. But how we write greater than in MongoDB? For that purpose, you just write here dollar and after dollar you need to write gt like this, and here now you write that particular age, which is 21, right? So it will do what? It will give you the age which is greater than 21, and after that just put 2 array like this. Got it? So this is how we work with it. Now let's just print it. So console.log, and here I'll write student greater than 21 is your what? Is your older student, right? Variable. Now let's just do one thing, comment it down. Let's save it and go to the terminal. Let's close it and run it again. First of all, let's clear it out. Let's run it out again. That is node index.js. Press enter, and you can see it has given me only two data set this time. And what are they? This is Piyush and this is Ravi. The Piyush age is 22 and the Ravi age is 23. Both are greater than this 21, right? Both are greater than 21. Let's see here. So you can see this Piyush and Ravi is having greater than 21 age, but this Anita is having the age of 21, which is exact value. And since our condition is greater than, that's why we got what? We got only two data sets. And this is how we use the find method with the condition here, right? I hope you understood the concept very clearly, that how we use the find and find one method in the MongoDB. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to perform update and replace operation in MongoDB. Well, we can do this using the three main methods. One is update one, update many, and the replace one method. Now, what are these methods? Well, update one method updates a single matching document, right? So it updates the first document that matches a filter condition that we will give. Now, what is this update many? Well, this update many updates all the document that matches a filter condition that we will give, right? So it will update the multiple matching documents. This is the main point, right? Now, what is this replace one? Well, replace one completely replaces a matching document with a new one, right? So let's give example that replace a Piyush document with new details like name, age, and the course. It will change that, right? We will understand with the help of examples. Let's go to the code. So here, let's clean it, whatever the written here, right? Yeah. So here you can see on the top that this is the complete environment for our MongoDB, right? So I have used the Mongo client, and here's the Mongo Atlas URL. Then we created our client. This is the name of our database. Then we made the connection with our client, right? And then we selected the database that is our this particular programming knowledge database, right? And then afterwards, what we did, we basically uses, or we have made the reference to our collection. Let me show you my collection. So this is our database programming knowledge. This is our collection students, and inside of this we are having these data, right? This first, the second, the third. Got it? Now after this, now let's move forward toward updating these data, right? So I'll show you that how we use it. So first of all, let's start with our update one example. So update one example, right? Like this. So let's start. Let me do one thing, that let me just make my co-pilot to be silent for a few minutes, right? Yeah. So for the update one, we will write here. Let's write here const update one result equals to, now inside of this I'll write await collection. This collection is what? This collection is holding my students collection, right? So yeah, so collection, after that dot update one like this. Got it? Now let's just put a bracket here, and inside of this we need to give two different statements, right? The first one is to filter out, and the second one is for the updation, right? Let me show you that how. First of all, put a curly bracket, and I want to filter my data based on the name. So I want that I want to select the data whose name is Piyush, right? So let's give the name name field as Piyush. So the data whose name key is having the value Piyush, which is this, of course, right? So we have selected that. Now put a comma here. After putting the comma, now we will work on the updation. So what I want that you do what, that just put a dollar and write set, right? And then semicolon, and after that put a curly bracket and put age as 23. That's it. So this is how we are actually first of all filtering out the data, and then we are updating the data. That now you do what, you just set my age to 23, and if you see the age is 22 now, right? Now let's see that whether it is working or not. So let me do one thing, that I just print here uh, console.log and update one result, comma update one result, right? Like this. Got it? So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's clean whatever is present here, right? And here I'll write node index.js. Let's press enter and see. So it did what? That it updated the one result which is acknowledged true, modified count 1, update upserted count 0, and the match count 1. Okay, fine. So it means that it has did it work. Now let's go to the terminal and let's refresh the data. You can see the age is 22 now. Now after refreshing, you can see the age is 23 now, right? The age is 23 now. So this is how we update any one data in our MongoDB, right? Now let's move forward toward updating many data, right? Which may fulfill the condition, or if you want to give any other condition or something, you can do what. But let's work without giving any condition. That means adding some thing to all the data set or all the documents. Let me show you how. So I'll write update many and update many, right? So it will do what, it will add active status to all that student, right? So here if you see, it is having only three keys, that is name, age, and the codes, but I want to add one more which is active. So let's see that how we do it. So moving forward, I'll write const update many result equals to await collection dot update many, like this. Now inside of this, I will do what, I will first give the condition to filter out. So let's write the curly bracket. Now I don't want to give any particular condition to any one data, I want all the data results, right? So I'll just keep it blank here, right? And after that, let's put the curly bracket to make the setting, right, updation work. So I want that do one thing, that set dollar set, and here I'll want status as active. So since this status is not available in any data set, so it will include that, right? It will include that. Now let's just go and check. So let's just copy this and paste it here. Update many result and update many results, like this, right? Let's save it and go to the terminal. Let's write here node index.js, press enter, and yes, it is done. Now let's move forward toward our database, and you can see this is the normal, right? Now let's refresh it, and yes, now you can see one more field which is status active is now added on all the data set, right? It is added on all the data set. Why all? Because we have not given any condition to the update menu, we kept it blank, like this, right? So this is how we work with all the data set and updation work, basically, right? Now let's move forward towards the one more variant of uh, up updation, which is replace one, right? So let's understand the replace one, right? So I'll do what, I'll just write const const replace result equals to await collection dot replace one. And now inside of this, first of all, what we give a condition to filter out. So how we give it? Just put a curly bracket, and let's say the name, the condition is that name should be Piyush, right? So name should be Piyush, and after that let's put a comma here. Now I want to replace the complete data of the data set where the name is Piyush. So I need to write the complete data set again, right? This is what you need to do. So we need to create a new document. So in the place of name, I want something else, anything that you want. So I just write here name. Let's say the name is John this time, right? And after John, let's give the age as 25 and the course as, let's say, mer, right? This is what we give, or this is completely a new document basically, right? So let's see that whether we are getting this result or not. So let's just copy, let's just paste and replace result, and let's write here replace result like this. Let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's just close it, clear it out, and write node index.js, press enter, and yes, it has done the work. It has modified count as 1, right? So because the matched count is also 1, that's why. So now let's go to the terminal, sorry, on the database, and refresh it, and let's see with the Piyush, right? The name where the Piyush was Piyush. Let's see that. Yeah, so you can see now that the data set which is having the name as Piyush is now name as John, the course is Mern, the age is 25, and this active field is now removed. Why? Because we have given this new document, so it has replaced completely the data which is present there with this new data set, right? So this is how we work with the updation, and how we use update, update one, update many, and replace result, or sorry, the replace one method in the MongoDB, right? I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how we can perform the delete operation in MongoDB. Well, there are two main methods that we use. One is delete one and the other is delete many. Now, what is this delete one? Well, delete one deletes the first matching document. Means you give a filter query there, right? A filter condition, and based on that particular condition, the first matching element or the document which your MongoDB finds in your data, it deletes that. Well, in the other part, the delete many does what? It deletes all the documents that matches that particular condition or the filter that you give in the query, right? So let's start. Let's see that how we can create the query and perform the action using the MongoDB. So here, if you see that what I'm doing is that I have first imported the MongoDB client, then there's a URL to connect, right? And there's a client I have created using this URL. This is the name of the database, and then I made the connection. Then I select that particular database that I want to use from my connection, basically, right? And then this is the collection name. Let me show you that how it looks. So this is my database. There's a collection student, and here three different data are present, right? And their keys are name, age, course, and status. Now let's start the work of delete. Let's see the working of the delete one first, right? So for that purpose, let's just write here delete one, right? So in the delete one, we will write const uh, delete one result equals to await, and then collection, this collection, right? This collection is holding that student, so this is student, right? So this collection is inside this collection variable. So collection dot delete, sorry, dot delete one, right? Put a bracket here. Now inside of this you can give your particular condition. let's say I want to give the name where the name is, let's take a name from here, let's say Ravi, right? So the name where the name is Ravi, right? So delete that particular data that I want, right? So after that, let's just print what, let's just print that particular result, right? So yeah, like this. So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's just clear everything out and write here node index.js, press enter, and yeah, it is done, right? So let's just come here and you can see the three different data are present, right? Let's just refresh the site, and you can see our one data is now deleted. And which one? Where the name was Ravi, right? That where the name was Ravi, so the Ravi name data is now deleted. So this is how we delete it now. And now for the delete many, right? We write the same way, like let's just copy it and paste it here, right? Now let's just change the variable as many, and here you need to change it by delete many, like this. Got it? So this way we want, but this time the condition will be different. Let's take the condition as status, right? And let's make the both the status as equal. So I want that, let's edit it, right? So you can update it directly from here also. So yeah, you can see now both the data or the document have the status active, right? This field. So on the basis of that, I'm going to delete it. So inside this delete many, I'm going to give the filter that the status to be active, right? Let's just save it and comment it down. Yeah, let's go here and search node index.js, press enter, and done, right? So let's see that whether it happened or not. So let's just refresh it, and you can see the no query is present now. Why? Because there were two different queries and both were having the status as active, and since we have used the delete many and given the filter of status as active, so it has deleted both the documents there, right? So this is how we use the delete one and delete many in the MongoDB to delete the queries, sorry, delete the document. So I hope you understood the concept. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to bulk write and upsert in MongoDB, right? So what is this bulk write? Well, it allows us to perform multiple insert, update, delete, replace operation in a single request. What it means? Well, in real project, you often need to perform multiple operation at once, right? And this is where your bulk write comes in. Also, sometimes the document may not exist while updating. So to handle that, we use the upsert. So we will understand that how we use it, right? So this is faster and efficient because MongoDB process them in a bulk instead of individually. So rather than performing operation individually one by one, we are just passing that in a bulk, right? And this is where your bulk write comes. And in upsert is basically we just put it as true. When we put is at true, then what happens that it checks the document, that whether if the document exists, then it will update that particular document. And if the document do not exist, then in that case it will create a new document in your database, right? So yeah, this is how the its definition is. Now let's come to the working part. So here you can see I have used the Mongo client, I use the URL, then there is a client I have created using the URL, and here I made the connection with my database, and this is the name of my database, right? So here I just made the collection, like I take out the collection name which is student here, if you come to my database, here's the name of the database, programming knowledge, and this is the collection student, and this is the three different data set, right? So here the fields are name, age, and course, right? So yeah, let's come and let's start the work. So first of all, we will understand the bulk write. So for that, we just write const bulk result equals to await, and then write the collection. This collection is holding what? My students collection, right? This student collection. So here I'll write collection, and then collection dot bulk write. Sorry, bulk write, as you can see here, right? Now then I'll put the bracket here, and since I'm going to give like lots of operation inside of that, so I'll create an array like this, and inside of this now I will give all the operations like this, as you can see here, right? So the first operation is to insert a new student named Alice. As you can see, insert one document, and the data is that the name is Alice, age is 20, and the course is BCA. And after that we are updating the age of the second one, which is where the name is Piyush, and we are updating that we are setting the age as 24. After that we are using the upsert. Now I'll explain you that why this upsert is used here. Well, look very carefully. First of all, we are having two different updates. In the first one, we are just filtering the name as Piyush, and then we are doing this particular task that we are setting the age as 24. In case if there is no data present where the name is Piyush, in that particular case, this particular line will do what? It will do nothing. It will just search there. Nothing is present. Okay, come back, finish the work. Right? Nothing will be updated there. But here in the second update, if you observe, I had put upsert as true. I have put upsert as true after finishing this particular line. You can see, right? I have put upsert as true. Why? Well, by using this upsert, what will happen? That it will look for the bob. If the bob will be there, okay, fine. It will update whatever the information that you have given. But in case if the bob is not present, then it will create a collect document where there will be a name of Bob, right? So we will see that how it will work, and in the end we will delete. Basically, we are up, doing one more operation, which is delete. So inside a single, as you can see from the definition, that how it will work, that it will give all the different multiple operation in a single request, right? In a single request. Same how here's a bulk write, a single request is going where we are having these different data, right? Different operations, as you can see. So let's just save it, and after saving it, what I will do, uh, rather than saving, basically let's do one more thing, that is, first of all I'll just print it. So console.log, and I'll write bulk write result, right? Put a comma here, and I'll write bulk result. Basically bulk result will contain this particular variable, right? So yeah, after that I'll put a step to show all the remaining students, right? So for that purpose we will just write const all students equals to await collection dot find, and inside the find I'm not going to give any condition. So it will do what? It, like, after updating, inserting, and deleting, right, whatever, or all the remaining students that are now present in my database or the collection, everything will be visible in my terminal, right? I'm going to print that. That's why. So to array like this. Now after this, just print it. So console.log, and here write final student in collection, right, comma, and just all students. So let's just save it, and let's go to the terminal, and here I'll write node index.js, and before entering, let me just look here, like let's have a look at all the field we are having three different data, name, age, course, right? The name is Piyush, John and Sam. So let's just enter, and yes, now you can see I got all the results here, right? So it did what? Let me show you that if you look here in the first one, that it is inserting one data where the name is Alice and the age is 20 and the course is BCA, right? So if you come here and refresh the site, then here you can see it has inserted one data which is Alice now, right? The name is 20 and the course is BCA, right? Now after that has updated the name, age of Piyush, right, to the age 24. So it has first searched that whether there is a Piyush or not, right? So basically there was no Piyush existing, so it did nothing there. But in this case, in the second one, if you see here, there's an update with the upsert, right? So it has filtered the name as Bob, but there was no Bob earlier, so it has created a new Bob here. You can see it has created a Bob here, right? And updated the name, age as 22 and the course as MCA. Age is 22 and the course as MCA. Okay, so Piyush was there. Piyush was there. Sorry, my bad. So Piyush was there. So it has updated the age as 24 for Piyush. You can see the age is now 24 for the Piyush. Got it? Now in the last one, there is a delete and the name was John. So there is no John now because the John name was deleted. So all these different operations are performed in a single execution, right? And this was very fast. Well, normally since we are working on a very simple queries, so definitely they take only milliseconds, so you cannot observe that. But when we work on the real project and on a very big project, then using these bulk write operations or the methods help us to execute these large number of operations in a single execution, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hello everyone, in this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how to work with the nested documents and array in CRUD operation, right? So what are these nested documents? Basically you can see the way we store data in MongoDB, it is stored inside these curly bracket which we call JSON. But let me tell you that MongoDB don't store the data in the JSON format, but it store it in the form of BSON, which is binary JSON. Now what is this? Let me explain you. So you can see here we are having this curly bracket. Earlier we called it the JSON, but why I'm calling it binary? Because inside this JSON we can store the data again in the form of object, in the form of array, right? So we are storing the data in the nested documents and the arrays, right? And that's why it is called the BSON. So let me explain you and teach you that how we can work or do the CRUD operation with such kind of data, right? So let's go to the MongoDB first and understand. This is my what? So this is my collection and basically student, and this is the database. And here you can see that there's no data available right now. And what we are going to do is that we are going to insert data like these, right? So let's go and let's do it. So here you can see that this is the complete environment to connect our basically this backend with the MongoDB, right? What I have used is Mongo client, then a URL, right? Which is the basically Atlas connection string, right? And then we created our client and then we made our client to get connected. After that, basically we given our collection name, right? And now we are going to start the work, right? So first of all, what I will do is that I will explain you that how you can insert a document with the nested document, right? Okay, for that purpose, let me first silent my copilot for a few minutes. Yeah. So insert document with nested document, right? So for that purpose, what we do, we just write here await, then this collection, right? This collection is which collection it is? It is students. You can see here, this is students, right? So this is the collection which is mentioned here. Got it? So await collection dot insert one, right? Put a bracket and then put a curly bracket like this, and inside of this just write your complete data like this. You can see the name, age, course, address. Address is in the curly bracket because I have given two different keys and values, right? City and the pin code. And in the subject I have used this array. Now how these work I'll explain you in the later part, but this is the way how we insert the data, right? So inside of this let's write inserted data, right? Let's just save it, and here let's go to the terminal and run it. Got node index.js, press enter. It is taking time. Fine. Okay, done. So what happened? Why it is showing connection closed? Okay, so connection closed in this particular line, right? So in the finally, basically you can see we are after every retrieval, I'm in the finally I'm doing what? Client dot close. If you don't want it, you can just comment it down or remove it, right? Okay, fine. Now basically with this particular line of code we have successfully inserted our data. Let's see in our database. So let's refresh it, and let's check. So here you can see the data is now inside our collection, and in the address it is showing me an object, and when you click on it you will see the city and the pin code. And when you click on the subject, this is basically an array bracket 3, right? When you click on it you can see math, physics and CS like this. Got it? Now after this, after inserting this particular data, let's move forward, right? Let's move forward toward reading the data, right? So if I want to read the data, let's say I want to read this something inside this address, right? I want to read something inside this address, then how we can do it? Let me show you. So basically we are going to perform the read operation. So inside let's create a variable name. Okay, I'm going to search with the help of this Delhi, right? So I'll write Delhi student equals to await collection dot find, put a bracket inside of this. Let's put the curly bracket. Right now here, since we are going to search with the help of this particular object, right? Got it? I'm going to search for this Delhi, right? So for that purpose what we need to do is just put this string here, right? After that write the basically your address. So basically in this particular data, if you check here, we are having this address, right? And then inside this address we are having what? We are having the city. So we will write here address dot city, right? So address dot city is Delhi, like this. So it will help me or help the MongoDB to find that particular data which is having address dot city is Delhi, right? So like this, and after doing this just make the data in the form of array, right? To array. So after this let's print it. So console.log, and here I'll write Delhi student. Let's save it. After saving, let's do one thing. Let's run it, right? So I'll do what? Node index.js, press enter, and yes, it is done. So if you go, sorry, if you see here, when I did address.city as Delhi, so it has found this particular data which is having the address city as Delhi, right? So when you want to go inside the object of a particular object, what you need to do? You need to put this dot, right? You need to put this dot. Now what we do in the case of this array? Now the question arises with the array, right? So let's understand that also. So for that purpose what we will do is that let me just let's do it from here only, right? So I'm just going to remove it, and here I'll write, let's say I want to find the student who is having the subject as physics, right? So simply in that particular case, when you are having an array, so for that purpose you just need to write it like the same way: subject as any subject which you want. So let's write physics, right? So what it will do, it will find me this data, right? So let's just save it, and after saving, let's run it again. So you can see again it found the same data. Why? Because here the subject is physics. So earlier what we do while finding the data, we just write find name as Piyush, so it will find the data which is having the name as Piyush. Similarly, in the case of subject which is having an array, so either you write subject as math, physics, CS, it will find this particular complete data set, right? This is how it works. I hope you understood the concept. Now let's move forward toward the next concept. So let's just make it comment down. And now, after reading, we had learned about inserting, we had learned about reading. Now it's time to learn about the update, right? So let's learn about the update part. So for the updation, what we will do, let's write await collection dot update one, and here I'll write what, that find the data first by the name of Piyush, right? So a data, first data which is having the name as Piyush, so I'll write name as basically Piyush, right? Okay, put it inside the curly bracket, make sure, right? And after that put a comma. So this will do what, this first line will make the filter, this first line will make the filter. Now I want to do what, I want to change this particular data. You can see this address is having, I want to change the city name, right? So how to change that nested document data, right? This is our task. So it is very simple, you just need to put the curly bracket, like already we learned that how we do it, right? Then dollar set, and then put a colon here, then again a curly bracket, and inside of this similarly what we did earlier, like put a string, right? Address dot city, and then colon, and you want it what, let's change it from Delhi to Mumbai, like this. Yeah, so just do it like this, the same way, right? So let's just save it and update it, right? So let's run it again, and first clear it and write node index.js. So you can see here the city is Delhi, right? And when I will run it, now let's refresh it, right? And you can see now that the city is Mumbai, right? So we have successfully updated the data of the nested document, right? Now coming up to the next part, which is deletion. So how we delete, I think it is the most easiest part, but let's understand that also, right? So how to delete something, so for that purpose let's write await collection dot delete one, right? And how we delete it, we just need to find the data, right, with some filter. And what we are going to use as a filter, we are going to use this nested data which is present, right? We are going to use this as the filter data. So for that purpose let's write the curly bracket here, and I told you that how we do it, just write address dot city, and here inside of this let's write Mumbai, right? Let's save it, or let's just console.log delete it like this, right? So let's just go here, press enter, and yes, it is deleted. So let's just refresh it and see whether the data is present or not. So yeah, you can see the query is 0 now. So by this method, we successfully learned that how we delete the data, and in this particular video we successfully understood that how to work with the nested document and array in the CRUD operation in MongoDB, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture we are going to learn about that how we can do the CRUD operation with the validation error in MongoDB. Well, mainly we are going to talk about that how we handle the validation error in MongoDB, and we'll tell you that how you can do the CRUD operation with the one example of insertion, right? So this is going to be the structure of the lecture. Let's start. So first of all, what we need to do is that we will create a collection with the validation rule, right? So for that purpose, first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to create a database, right, which is having the name programming knowledge, right? And after that, let's create a collection inside that database, right? So I'll write await db dot create collection, put a bracket here, and inside this let's write the name of the collection. Let's take it students, right? So let's take it students, and after that put a comma here and put a curly bracket like this. Got it? Now inside of this we will write our complete code. So first of all we need to write the validator like this, and put a colon, and then inside of this having a curly bracket. Now here we will write JSON schema. For that put the dollar sign JSON schema like this, and inside of this we will first use the bson type like this. Bson type we will say. Bson type is basically going to be the object, right? Object like this. Let's take it inside the string, basically object like this. Got it? After that put a comma, and here we'll write the required now. So we will use the required, and required what? All the column that we want, all the key that we want, we can say that is name comma age comma, let's say email, right? Like this. And after that let's put a comma, and now we will work on the properties like this. Now inside of this we will write the name, and the validation for the name is going to be bson type, by bson type as basically string. For the name it should be string, right? And for the age for this, basically the bson type is going to be an int like this. Put comma, and here we will also define the check, right? So let's say the name should be minimum 18, right? You can do it like this also. After that let's give the email, and email in this, basically email, the bson type is basically your string, right? Like this. So we have successfully created our validator inside our collection of students, right? Now after doing this, let's create that collection. So we will write that since we have, okay, not taken, okay, let's define a name that is variable, which is student, right? And here I'll write student equals to db dot collection, put bracket, and here I'll write students, right? After that just write console.log, and here I'll write that database is connected, db connected, right? Like this. Now we have successfully done the validator part. Now here you can see I'm having a CRUD operation performed, which is insertion, right? So I'm inserting the data inside the student. For that purpose I have used the express, right? Express.js. And here we are having this app is what? App is basically, it is the variable which is having this express, right? Now app.post, we are using the post method where we are using this URL or the API slash students, and then there's a asynchronous request and response here, try catch block, and then we are doing what we are. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's name it students, right? Yeah. So if I do students, let's save it. So const result equals to await students dot insert one. I'm inserting this data, something which going to take from the front end side or the client side. For that purpose, we are going to use the postman. I'll show you how, right? And then the catch, we are simply just catching the error. That's it, right? And we made our server to listen to the port number 3000. So let's just save it, and now let's go to the postman. Okay, so inside the postman, may take some time. So yeah, so since our backend is running at the port number 3000, we will change this to 3000, and after that, let's write students, which is our API, right? You can check students. Yeah. So here, what I'll do first, I'll start the server, right? So let's just clear whatever written here, and I'll write node index.js. Press enter. Okay, I have just type it. I'll write node index.js. Press enter. Okay, there is some error, I guess. Let me. Okay, fine. So maybe the problem is lying here, that it should be students, right? From here is students, both should be same. And other thing which we have done wrong is basically it should not be like in capital, right? So let's just select all the bison type, right? And it should be written in the small, right? Bison, and then type like this. Got it? So let's check now that whether the things are correct or again wrong. We need to debug the things, right? So let's just clear it, and node index.js, and yes, the server is now connected to the port number 3000 and the database is connected. Now let's go to the postman and do our task. So what I'm going to do is basically I'll send some data from the postman to the. Okay, so let's just remove whatever it is written here, and first of all I'll give the name as, let's say, Piyush, put a comma, and age as 22, and let's say the email is basically your Piyush at the rate gmail.com, let's say, right? Like this. So let's just do what, let's just send it and see that whether it is working or not. So yeah, it is inserted and the inserted ID is given here, right? And let's say if I do it in the wrong way, like in case if I write the age as 16, right? We have already set the validator that age should like the minimum age should be 18, but what if I write the age as 16? Let's check this out. So let's send it, and you can see it is showing me an error, which is document failed validation. Means whatever the validation that you have set or the set, basically if you are not following it from the client side, at that time it will give an error that is document failed validation, right? So this is how we do our task with the basically with the validator in the MongoDB, right? So I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to use the equality, inequality, and the comparison operator in MongoDB. Well, MongoDB provides very powerful query operator to filter document based on the condition, and these conditions are written with some special characters which I'll explain you in this particular lecture. So if you see here, we are having some 5 6 different operators, and it look like this dollar eq shows you're equal to, this dollar ne shows not equal to, this dollar gt shows greater than, dollar lt shows less than, dollar gte shows greater than or equals to. right? If you have the knowledge of programming, then you must be aware about this particular operator, right? It is what? It is, sorry, not like this, greater than and equals to, right? So yeah, like this. And less than or equals to, LTE, right? So this is your operators in the MongoDB. And how we use it, let me explain you. So for that purpose, let's go to the index.js file. So we will start with equal, right? Equal. So before starting, let me show you my database, right? So here you can see this is my database, where the database name is programming knowledge and the collection is students, right? Inside of this we are having this 5 different data, where I'm having the field like name, age, and the marks. You can see, right? I'm going to apply these operator on these particular data and show you the results, right? So first of all, I need to start. So I'm using the equal example, right? First, so our collection student is stored inside this particular variable, which is collection, right? So let's start. So here I'll write that const equal result equals to await collection dot find, put a bracket here, and let me just close this, right? So collection dot find, and after putting this find, we need to put a curly bracket, right? Since we what we want to take out those data where we apply, on which the particular filter that we are going to apply should get satisfied, right? So I want to find the data where the age is equals to 20. So for the equals to, what we use dollar, then eq, right? Eq, and age to be 20, right? And after getting the data, let's say that there are a lot of data where the age is 20, right? So to get those data, I need to convert them into the array first. So to array, like this, right? And then print it, console.log equal result, like this. Let's just save it, go to the terminal. Here I'll write node index.js, press enter. But before pressing enter, let me show you. Here I'm having the current where the age is 20, and this Aman where the age is 20. So we should get two different data, right? Let's press enter, and yes, you can see I got two different data. One is for Aman and second is for Karan. Why? Because their age is 20. So this is how we apply this equal operator here. Now let's work with the not equal operator, right? So let me just add not equal operator, right? And for not equal, what we use n e, right? Not eq, we use n e. So for that, let's write n e, like this. And here let me write not equal result. Let's just save it. So basically it will give me all the results where the age is not equal to 20. Means among these 5 different data, since two are having the age as 20, it should give me these 3 results, right? So let me just run it. So let me first save it. Yeah. So after pressing enter, you can see it has given me 3 different data set where the age is not equals to 20, 22, 19, and 23, right? So this is how it works. Now let's move forward toward the more operator, like more different operators. Now we are going to work with, okay, let me just copy it and make it comment. And now we are going to work with greater than, right? So for greater than, let me just write the code here. And greater than, right? And to collect await collection dot find, we want to find the data where, let's say, the marks, right? The marks is something, since greater than, right? So for greater than dollar gt, right? We use dollar gt, and let's give it the filter of 70. So I, what is this saying? It is saying that filter out those data from the collection where marks is greater than 70, right? And then here I'll write greater than, right? So let's just save it and go to the terminal, and let's run it, right? So before that, let's check 70. So Aman has 85, so yes, it is satisfying the filter. Ria will come, Vikas will not come, it is having less marks. Neha will come, and the Karan is having less mark. Why always boys have less marks? Huh, very common. So yeah, you can see the marks is 85, marks is 92, and the marks is 75. So we have successfully filtered out those data where the marks is greater than the particular number, which is 70. So we use successfully the greater than operator. Now let's move forward toward lesser than operator. So let's just copy it and less than, right? So here I'll want less than, right? Less than, like this. And for less than, what we use, since for the greater than it was GT, so for the lesser than it will be LT, right? So since we are having 5 datas here, now I should get two different data, like two data set. So let's just save it and node index.js. Let's press enter, and you can see I got these two data set where the marks is less than 70, right? 60 and the 50. So this is how we work with the less than operator. Now let's move forward toward the greater than or equal, right? So greater than or equal, right? So let's write the same here, and I'll write uh, for the greater than, so GTE result, right? And I want to filter where the marks is let's say GTE, and let me just give you something like greater than and marks is 22, right? So I want the strength where the marks is greater than 22. So let's just save it and go to the terminal, run it again. Okay, sorry, greater than not, it will be GTE result, right? This, yeah. So it should work now. So you can see it has given me all the data set. Why? Because everyone is having the marks greater than 50, right? So this is how we use the GTE, which is greater than or equal operator. Now the last one operator is less than or equal. I'm leaving it on you. Try it with your code, right? Write it with the same syntax I have taught you, and yes, check out that how we work with it, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the logical operators that we use in the MongoDB. Well, these are mainly four, which are and, or, not, and this expression operator in MongoDB, right? So what is this and for? Well, and defines all the condition must be true. Means putting this and operator and giving multiple conditions. So in the case when all the condition will be true, it will filter out the result. Otherwise, it will give null, right? Similarly, there's or. The in or, basically there is a condition that at least one of the condition among all the given condition, at least one should be correct, right? In that particular case, it results as the true. And not is the opposite of condition. That means basically your not operator is to negate a condition, right? Basically it returns the opposite, fine. And this expression, what it is for? Well, it allows using the aggregation expression in the query filter. I explain you that what it is. Basically it is very powerful when you need to compare two fields in the same document, right? Then we use this, right? So let's understand, let's code and see that how it works. So let's go to the index.js file. So here you can see that I'm having the environment to set the MongoDB, right? Now we will start with the AND operator first. But before starting, let me show you my database. You can see, right? These are all set of data. So our database name is programming knowledge. The collection is students, and that inside the database, among all the data, the field are name, age, city, marks, and past, right? So these are all data. Now let's start the working. So first of all, I'll start with and, right? So how we work with and? So basically, we are going to make the filter such that the students who are older than 20 and are from the city Delhi should come out. right? So for that purpose, what you need to write, you need to write const and result, right? I'm taking the variable, right? Await, and then the collection. This collection is holding my collection name, which is students, right? So I'll write collection like this, collection dot find, right? Collection dot find, put the bracket here. Now after putting the bracket, put the curly bracket like this. Now inside of this, we are going to use the AND operator. So for using the AND operator, what we do, we write first the dollar sign and then AND like this, right? Then there's a colon. Now since we are going to give condition and these are conditions are going to be more than one, right? So there should be an array like this. Now inside of this, first of all, put a curly bracket and give your first condition, right? And then put the comma and then write your second condition like this, right? Now let's start working with the first condition. So I want that age should be greater than 20. So how we write it? Just write age, right? And put a curly bracket like this and greater than 20. So dollar GT should be 20, right? The age should be greater than 20. And after that, the city to be Delhi, right? To city Delhi like this. So these are two different conditions, right? Now, when this particular query will run, it will take out all the data. So there are the chances that there could be more than one data which will satisfy this AND operator condition, right? So to get that, we need to convert it into the array, right? To array like this. So this is the complete way how we code it. Let's save it and go to the terminal, right? And run node index.js, press enter. What happened? Okay, sorry, we have not printed it, right? So console.log and we will print our AND result like this, right? Let's run it again. And this time you can see I got two different results where the city is Delhi and the age is greater than 20, right? City is Delhi and the age is greater than 20 means both the condition are satisfying. When both the condition will satisfy, only those data will come out, right? This is how your AND works. Now let's start with the OR operator. For that, I'm just copying it. Let's go down, paste it here, OR. Let's comment it down like this. Now, so for the OR result, right? OR result, and let's paste it here also. And in that particular case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say that OR, right? OR. So inside the OR, I'm saying that let's remove this age condition. I'm saying either the city is Delhi or the city is Mumbai, right? Bring those data that has either the city as Delhi or the Mumbai. So let's write the city as Mumbai like this. Let's save it. After saving, let's just clear it out, right? Node index.js, press enter, and you can see it has taken out all the data set where either the city is Delhi or the city is either Mumbai. You can see Delhi, Mumbai like this. Got it? So this is how your OR works, right? Now let's just clean it out or make it comment, right? Now here, let's understand this not, right? So let's understand the not. So let's just do one thing. Let's copy it out and paste it here. And what I will do, I'll just change this as not result, right? And here you can see. So inside of this, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write that a student whose marks are not greater than 50. This is what I'm going to do. So for that purpose, let's just clean in the filter condition, right? So for that, not, right? You need to first give the particular key for which you are going to apply. So marks, I'm going to apply it on marks, right? And then put the curly bracket and then dollar not like this, right? And then dollar and greater than 50, right? So basically what is happening here, that first of all I'm having this condition that greater than 50 means marks should be greater than 50, and then I'm putting this not. Now what this not will do, it will take out those data where the marks is not greater than 50, right? So this is how it will give you the result, right? Let's just save it and go to the terminal, and let's just clear it out. Right, node index.js, press enter, and you can see it has taken out those data result where marks is not greater than 50, 40 and the 30 like this. Got it? Yeah. And the last one is your expression. Now we want that student where marks are greater than the age. We are going to put the condition on two different field of the same data. Are you getting what I'm saying? I'm going to put the condition where I'm going to compare two different field of the same data and then taking out the result, right? This is going to be like more fun to understand the concept of this expr, right? So let's write const expr result equals to await collection dot find, put a bracket, curly bracket. Now inside of this the marks, no, sorry, since we are going to work with the expr, right? So we need to write here dollar expr, right? And then put a colon here. Now after that just put the curly bracket, right? So what I'm going to say that put those, take out those data where the marks are greater than the age. So for that purpose what we need to write, we need to write this greater than gt and put a colon here, and then the curly bracket, right? And inside of this first take the first field and the other field. Inside the first field I'm saying dollar marks, right? When you are giving your particular field, then you need to write this dollar, right? This dollar marks, and then dollar age like this, right? And then in the end to array, right? This is how we write it. Now let's just print it and see that whether our code is correct or not. expr, right? Let's save it and go to the terminal. Let's clear it out and write node index.js, press enter, and you can see in all the data which I'm getting here, what is happening, that our marks is greater than age. And of course that is true, right? The marks is 85, age is 22, marks is 60 and age is 19, right? Marks is 40 and age is 25. That's why it is correct with all the condition. Let's just do reverse of it, right? So let's just write the age first and then the marks here, right? Now let's just save it and run it again, and you can see this is time I'm not getting any data because no age is greater than marks, right? So we write the first condition, like first field, to compare with the second field, right? So you can see no data is present where the age is greater than the marks, right? So this is how we work with this all this logical operator. I hope you understood the concept very clearly, right? Make sure that you do the practice of these operators by yourself also, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about the two most important conditional operator in MongoDB, and these are $in and $NIN, right? So, what is this $in? Well, it matches the values inside a given list, right? We give the list, and among those lists, it matches the values, and there's the just opposite of that in, that it matches the value which is outside the given list, right? Inside the list, whatever the data that we give, if there is the data which is not following that particular conditions, then that will come with the help of this NIN. We will understand this with the help of the code. Let's go to the index.js file and start coding. So this is the complete environment to set up my database, right? So this is my URL for the MongoDB. Then I made the client, database name, and then we made our connection, and we select the database and the collection like this. Got it? Let me show you my database first. You can check here. So this is the name of my database. This is the collection students. Inside of this, I'm having the data like this. You can see, right? The fields are name, age, city, marks, and past. Got it? Now let's move forward. So first of all, we will start with what? We will first start with in, right? So for the in, what we are going to put the condition that the students are from Delhi or Mumbai, right? I'm going to give a list. Inside that list, I'm going to mention two different city name. So I want the data that are having either the city as Delhi or the city as Mumbai, right? So for that purpose, let's write const in result equals to await collection dot find and put the bracket and then curly bracket, right? And now inside of this, let's write the city and city as dollar, right? And then put the curly bracket like this and write in, and then put the colon here, and inside of this is what? This is now going to be your list, right? Let's understand that first of all, we written our collection is having this student, right? You can see this is the student. So this is my collection, and then I made the find method to find on the condition. Now for the condition, I'm using the city now, and after putting the city, I'm going to give a list. And I told you, right, how in works, that it takes out what it does, that it matches the value which are given inside the given list. So we have written this dollar in, and now this is the list. Now inside of this, we will write the condition that either the city is Delhi or the city is Mumbai, like this, right? So this is how we do. And after that, there are the chances that there are a lot of data set which are having or which are satisfying this particular condition. So to get that, we need to use to array, right? To array, we need to convert this complete result into the array first, right? And then we will print it. So let's write the console.log and in result like this. Let's save it. After saving, let's go to the terminal, and here I'll write clear, and I'll write node index.js. Press enter, and you can see I got all the results, and inside these results you can observe that the city is Delhi, city is Mumbai, city is Delhi, city is Mumbai, right? Like this way. So this is how in works, that it takes out the data which are having these which are having this list elements, right? Yeah. Now let's move forward toward our second operator, which is NIN, which is not in, right? So we will do the same thing, that student who are not from Delhi or the Mumbai, right? We want such data. So let's just do one thing. Let's copy it out and paste it here, NIN, and I'll do what? I'll just uncomment it, and after that NIN result, and let's write NIN here also. Now when we have given this particular condition, that city in Delhi Mumbai, if I make it NIN, so what it will give? It will give those datas which are not having Delhi or either Mumbai, right? So let's do one thing. Let's clear it out, right? And write node index.js. Press enter, and you can see there's only one data set which is not having Delhi or Mumbai, which is your this set number this, where the name is Pooja and the city is your Pune, right? So this is how it works, and this is how we use this conditional operator, which is in and NIN, right? So I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about some of the most important query operator in MongoDB. Well, starting with this exist. Now, what this operator does, that it checks that whether the field exists or not, right? It makes sure that among all the data set, which data set is having that particular field which we mentioned as a filter, right? So its syntax is like this. You can see first we mention the field name and then we put this operator and ask it that whether it is true or false. Means for the true, if the field is present, it will filter out that data. Otherwise, it will do what? It will not filter it out, right? Yeah. So it is used to match document that contain a specific field. Now coming up to the next part, which is dollar type. Now what it does, it matches the document by its field data type. Let's say I'm having a field of age, right? Now inside this age there are multiple data set and few data set is having the age in the form of number or the integer, and the other is having the age as a string, right? So based on the data type, I will select it out with the help of this type operator, right? So it is used to check the based on data type of a field, right? The syntax is like this. You can check it like here, right? The common type aliases are your string, right? Int, double, bool, and the date, right? Now coming up to the next part, which is your regex, right? Now what it does, so regex is basically allow you to search text field in MongoDB using the regular expression. Now what is this regex? What are these regular expression? Well, let me tell you, it is used to find the pattern, right? Let's say I'm having a field and there's data is present inside the field. So if I want to find it based on the pattern, that those data set where the name should start from the capital letter A, take out those data set, then this is called your pattern. And this is what we do with the help of regex, right? And there's one more field which is option. Now what is this option? Okay, this option is basically your flags, right? Inside this we write I. If we written I, then it make it case insensitive. Means if we have written that pattern should match del, right? Now if there is del in the capital or del in the small letter, it will take out both when we put the option as I, which means it make it case insensitive. Now M, this is multi-line search. S is for dot matches new line, and X means ignore the white space and comment in the regex, right? This is what your uh, common options, right? So let's start. Let's go to the index.js and start coding and understand that how we use this operator. So this is the code to connect my MongoDB, right? So first of all, I use Mongo client, then URL for my database, made my client, and then I made the connection with the client, right? And there's the database name and the collection. Let me show you my database. You can check it from here. This is the name of the database, which is programming knowledge, and the name of the collection is students, right? So from here, you can check the data look like this. Here's the name, city, mark, and past. And here in this, there's a name and age, but age is not present in this data set, right? So I made the data in such a way that we can easily work with these operators, right? So you can check. Earlier, the age is an integer, but here we are having the age as a string, right? So let's go and let's see that how we do it, right? So we will start with what? We will first start with our exist, right? Let's start with the exist. But before that, let's make our copilot go to sleep, right? So let's start with exist. So for that, we need to write const exist result equals to await, right? Now here we will use the collection. My collection name is student and I stored inside this collection variable, right? So collection dot find. Now inside of this, after I'll write here what? I'll show you the syntax basically, right? We mention the field name and then we put the dollar $exist, right? So on which field we want? Let's check it for basically age, right? Let's check it for the age. Uh, So yeah, let's check it for the age or marks. Let's do for the marks this time, right? So I'll write here marks and then put a curly bracket and then dollar sign and exist, right? And after writing exist, right here true, right? So I want that this particular query will take out those data set which are having this marks field inside of it, right? So after that just put two array like this, right? Now let's just print it. So console.log and let's print this here like this. Let's just save it and go to the terminal. Okay, let's clear it out. And here I'll write node index.js, press enter, and I should get all the data set except this data for Ria, right? It is not, she's not having the marks field. So let's press enter, and you can see I got Vikas, I got Pooja, I got Karan, I got Aman, but not Ria. Why not Ria? Because Ria is not having this what marks field, and others are having marks, right? That's why you can see the exist is made true. That's why it is giving those data set which is having the field of marks. If I make it false, right, and then I go here, let's clean it out, and if I run it, in that particular case I got Ria only, because Ria is the only data set which is not having marks as a field, right? Since we put it false here. Got it? Now let's move forward toward the next operator, which is our type. Yeah, so for the type we'll write type here, and we will write const type result equals to await, and here I'll write collection dot find, right? Put the curly bracket and come here. Now for the type the syntax was what? The syntax was that we put the field here, right? We write the field name first and then we use this dollar type, right? So yeah, so what I'll do, I'll check it for the age. If you look here, I'm having the age here, here, and here also, right? But in among four different data set, you can see only Vikas is having age as a string here, right? Only Vikas is having the age as a string. So I'll do what? I'll filter out those data where the age is in the form of integer, right? So I'll write age first, that is field name, then put a curly bracket and write dollar type. The type should be what? The type should be int. So write int here, right? After writing this, just put two array like this. Got it? Now let's just print it. So I'll write console.log and type result like this. Let's save it. Go to the terminal. Let's clean it. Write node index.js. Press enter, and you can see I got the Pooja, I got the Karan, I got the Ria, but I didn't got the Vikas. Still the Vikas is having the age field. We have not got the Vikas as a result. Why? Because the age is not integer here. The age is basically a string. You can check a string. There are a lot of data type which is here, right? You can explore it like this also. Got it? So I hope you understood the concept of type also. Now let's move forward toward the regex, right? How we deal with the regex now. So I'll explain you with the help of the field name city, right? The field name city. Fine. So what I'll do is let's just comment it down and moving downward, and here I'll use regex, right? Now here inside of this we will write I want to search for basically uh, let's say the city name as Delhi, right? And I want to search the pattern as DEL. Got it? So this is what I'm going to do. So I'll write here that, okay, let me just put the variable that is regex result equals to uh, await collection dot find, like this. And after that, for giving the condition, we just need to write the name of the field, right? So let's write the field as city, and then just write curly bracket. Now inside of this we will give dollar regex and then colon, and just write here del. When you write del here, right, so it will match the data, right, which is having either Delhi or New Delhi, whatever the present here there, right? So let's just save it and to array, like this, and just print it console.log and regex result, control plus C and paste it like this. Yeah, so let's run it, right? So basically I'll do what, I'll just clear it out and write node index.js. So it has not printed the del, basically the Delhi, right? But what if I give it del, right? Del, let's save it and run it here. So it has given me two data set where the city is Delhi, and why? Because it is matching the pattern which is del, where D is capital, right? But now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this another field inside of it, which is options, not like this, uh, dollar options, right? And inside of this, if I give it I, right, and make it del, like small, right? Let's just save it and run it again. So you can see again it has given me the result with del, where D is capital now, but still it is matching with this particular D of a small. Why? Because we have given this options as I, as I told you here, right? What this option I do, it make it case sensitive, the filter as insensitive, sorry. So by this, what happens that either the cases are in capital or small, it will give you the result in this way, means it will compare the capital and the small both, right? So this is how we use these three most important operator, which is type, exist and regex in the MongoDB. Now it's your task to read it more, to explore more examples and make your concept more clear, right? So this is all about today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about two most important operators of the MongoDB. That is $all and $lm match. Now, what are these and how they are different? Well, your $all works with the array of values. Means if we have the embedded array inside the document and we want to search or filter based on the values of array, we use this $all. Now how it works, it checks that if array contains all the given values, means when you put the filter and you give some values, so what it will do, it will take all the documents and check that which particular document contain all the values that are mentioned in your $all condition, right? Similarly, there is one more operator which is lmmatch. Now what this lmmatch does, well, it works on the array of object. Means earlier we were working on the array of values, now it is working on the array of objects. Means we have some lot of arrays present inside the document, right? And we want to check based on the array objects, right? So it ensures that one element, which is basically an object in array, matches the given condition, right? So let's understand that how it works into our index.js. So here you can see I'm having some code here, right? This is basically the environment to set our MongoDB with our node project, right? So this is the URL of the MongoDB, then we created a client, and after that we made our project or the node project to connect with this particular atlas, right? And here's our database and collection name. Now what I have done, I have inserted some data to my database, you can see in this way. there's the id, name, and then a skill. Skill is having array, and the exam is also having array, but inside the array it is having an object, and the object is having the key and the values like this, right? Let me show you. You can see this is the first data set which I have put into my database. Here the name is Aman. The skill is having the array of values. You can see this is the array, and these are all the values, right? And then we are having an object like say this. You can see, right? Now this exam is also having an array, and inside the array we are having object, right? And the object is having the key and the values, right? Like this. So this is the way how we inserted our three different data. Now let me just remove this because we have already inserted that into our database. I showed you, right? Now let's move forward toward working with these data set and how we use these operators, right? So first of all, what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you about how we work with $all, right? So with $all, let's write const all result equals to await collection. This collection is basically my student collection. If you look here, there's my database, and this student is the collection, right? And I have stored inside this variable collection. So collection dot find, put a bracket here. After that, put a curly bracket like this. Now inside of this, we want to work with what? We want to work with first skill, right? First we will see the skill, because we are going to deal with array of values, and the skill is having the array of values, right? Yeah. So skills colon, then put a curly bracket like this, and then $all. Now give all the values that you want that the dataset should have. So let's say I'll create a array, and inside of this I'll give the values like JavaScript, comma Python. Sorry, yeah, like this. So after creating this, there could be more than one data set, right, which are having these values. So we need to convert it to array to get the data, right? Yeah, like this. Now after that, let's just print it. So console.log, and I'll print the all result like this. Let's just save it and go to the terminal and see that whether our code is correct or not. So I'll write node.index.js, press enter. Okay, so it is empty. Okay, so the small mistake that we have done is basically we have put this s as small, because inside our database, if you see, we have this script as s is capital, right? It is case sensitive. So let's just save it and run it again, and node.index.js, and you can see I got the data set which is having this both JavaScript and Python inside their array, right? So these values, with this we deal with $all. This is how we work with it, right? Now let's move forward towards working with our $lm match. Now how that work? Well, lm match, let's see. Let's see how we work with that. And here m should be capital, right? So for that purpose, what I'm going to do, I write const lm match result equals to await collection dot find. Now inside of this basically we will start with this exam, right? Because this exam is holding an array, and this array is having object, so we are going to deal with the array of object, right? And then only we use this lm match, right? So I'll say exams, right? And then put a curly bracket like this. Now inside of this put $lm match, right? And after this just put a curly bracket like this, right? And then subject as math, comma marks should be let's say greater than dollar greater than 80, right? This is what I want. And then in the end to array, right? So now what I'm doing here, I'm actually searching inside the exam field, right? I'm taking this exam field and then I'm saying that match those data set where the object inside the array is basically having such data, having such filter, right? Where the subject is math and the marks is greater than 80. Let me show you. So we have a lot of data set, right? So let's first open the first one. So it is having math. Yes, it is having a math and the marks is greater than 90. And in the second subject it is science and marks is 70. So basically this one is valid. Now let's move forward here inside the ria. If we go here inside the exam, right, we are having an object, and inside the object we are having math and the marks is 60. Now for the current, inside the exam there's a object and the subject is only science and the marks is 95. That means we should get only this particular data set where we are having the subject as math and the marks is greater than 80, right, which is 90 basically, right? So let's just print it, and lm match result, let's just save it. After saving, let's go to the terminal. Okay, let me just do one thing, make it comment, right? Now let's run node index.js, press enter. Okay, so we got two different data sets. Why? Okay, so both are the same for the Aman. Okay, maybe that it is showing me this result also. Okay, let me just run it again. Yeah, so basically we have not saved this particular after commenting this, right? So that's why. Now after saving, you can see it is executing the code for this particular set, right? Where we are using lm match, and it is giving me only one data, which is for the Aman, right? Because it is having the exam object, and the object is holding what? It is holding the subject as math and the marks as 90, right? So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to query null and missing fields in MongoDB database, right? So first of all, here you can see some of the code here. Basically, it is an environment to set up my MongoDB Atlas with my node project, right? So this is the URL, then we made a client, then we made the connection, and this is the name of the database and the collection, right? So this is the data which I inserted inside my database. You can see here I am having insert many where name is Aman and the city is null. Then I'm having the name as the Ria. Then I'm having the name as current and the city is Delhi. So here you can observe that in the first data, the city is null, and in the second data, the city field don't exist, right? And the third data, the city field exists and there is a data with the city field, right? So this is what we are going to deal with. I have already inserted a data. If you see, you can check it here, right? This is the three data set. Now we are going to deal with it. I have made it comment down, right, because we have already inserted that data, right? So let's start first with the case where city is null or missing. I want both the data, right? So for that purpose, let's write const city null or missing, right, equals to await collection dot find, like this. Now inside of this, what we need to do, we just give curly bracket like this. Not curly bracket, we have already given that, right? Just write the name of the field, that is city, and null, right? When you write this way, right, when you write it in this way where you put the field and then this null only, then what kind of result you get, I'll show you with the example, right, with the result that we get. So let's just print it. So console.log and city null or missing, let's just save it and go to the terminal. Okay, let's just clean it out and write node index.js, press enter. Now you can see I have got two different data sets. Why? Because in the first data set, there is a city field is present and it is having null as a value, means it is not having any value, but the field exists. And the second data which I have got here, only name field is present, but city field don't even exist. So when you put the query like this, where you just put the city as null, in that particular case, you are getting what? You are getting both null or the missing values, right? Missing fields. Right, now let's deal with the second case. Let's just close it. Okay, now the second case is that the city is exactly null, right? City is exactly null. I want to deal with it, right? So for that purpose, let's write const only null equals to await collection dot find. And here inside of it, let's write it in a way that city, right? We are going to deal with the city field, right? And I'm saying that its value should equivalent to null, and this particular field should exist. We need to give two different conditions, right? Now how we write it? First of all, dollar eq means the value should be equal to null, right? And the second condition is dollar exists as true. Do you understand that? First of all, we are giving what we are giving, that particular city field should have the value null, and that particular city field should exist, right? Now after this, let's write to array dot to array like this, and let's just print it. So I'm going to write only null here. Let's just save it, and save it. After saving it, let's go to the terminal and run it again. In that particular field, you can see I got only one data set which is having the city field and which is having the value of city field as null, right? So this is how we define it. Got it? Yeah. Now let's go to the next case. So next case is about that city is missing, right? We need to find the data where the city field don't even exist. So that we can do with this data also. Like, let me just copy it and paste it here, and let's do one thing, implement it also. Yeah. Now what we want to do, we want to search that city is missing. We want city field to be missing. So I think you already know this. Tell me, right? You already know this. How we do this? Basically, for that we just need to put this exist as false. That's it, right? I have already explained you this in the previous lectures. So let's just save it and go to the terminal. Let's just clear it out and run node index.js, and you can see I got that data set where the city field is not even present, only name which is present, right? So means the city field do not exist, right? So this is how we deal with the third case. Now let's come to the last case, which is where city is not null. I want the data set where the city is not null. So how we deal with it? Let me just write the city not null, right? How we do that? Let me just paste it the previous code here, right? Yeah, like this. So what we were doing, let's just remove this filter condition and change it to not null, right? So there should be the condition like such that that particular field should not having the value as null. When you put the condition like value should not equal to null, in that particular case two things are happening. First of all, it is checking that with that particular field should exist, and then it is doing what, that particular value should not be there, which we are going to use. I'll explain you, right? So let me just write here the city first, right? And then put a curly bracket. Now inside of this I'm going to write dollar $ne, which is not equivalent to our null, like this. Yeah. So we want that the city field value should not equal to null, right? Now how this city is not going to work? Basically this filter will do what, it will first search the data set which is having the city field, right? And then it is checking that that particular field should not have the value as null, right? This is how it is working. So let me just uh, run it again, and you can see it has given me only one data set which is having city field and which is having any value other than null, which is Delhi here, right? So this is how we work with this, right? So I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hey, hi everyone. In this particular lecture, we are going to learn about that how to sort, limit, skip, and project field works in the MongoDB. Right now, here you can see in the top. Well, the sort and we put the field and put it equals to 1 will make it in the ascending order, and sort field equals to -1 will make it in the descending order, right? So there's a game of 1 and -1. We use this to change it into the ascending and the descending order. Now we put the limit. Well, it returns only the end document. So let's say we are having lots of documents and we want only n number of documents from that. We use the limits, right? There's a skip that if you want to skip the first n number of document, let's say I'm having 10 documents and I want the document from 6 to 10, not 1 to 5. So I can skip 5 documents, right? I can use this. Now there's a projection which is to choose which field to include or exclude. Let's say I'm having a data set, right? And there's a document where I'm having 10 different fields. Now I want only two fields to come up, right? To show. So at that time I can use this projection. I will explain you in the code that how it works. So let's go to the index.js. So here you can see I have some of the code written here. Basically this is the basic connection with my MongoDB Atlas. I'm having the URL here, then I made a client, then I made the connection to the Atlas, and this is the database and the collection name, right? Now, this is the data which I have inserted in my database. Let me show you. This is, you can see, right? Now I'm going to deal with this only. So this is what it is. Now let me just comment it down and start our work. So first thing which we are going to learn today is that how to sort the student by the age, right? So you can see I'm having the age, right? Different data set is having age. Now I want to sort it, sort this as per the age. So let's say sort ascending age, right? Now for that, let's write const sorted equals to await collection. This collection is basically student collection. If you look here, my database name is programming knowledge and student is the collection name, right? So collection dot find, put a bracket, right? So this will do what? It will take all the data because we are not going to give any condition or filter condition inside this find. So it will do what? It will take out all the data set, right? And then dot and then sort, right? So we need to put this sort after the find, right? So dot sort, and inside this sort now I'm going to give what? I want to sort it based on this age field. So I'll write age colon and 1 like this. So this one will do what? It will sort the data in the ascending order, right? And then dot to array like this. Got it? So this is how we work with the sort of ascending order. Okay, let me just make my copilot on sleep. It disturbs too much. So console.log and then sorted. Yeah, let's just go to the terminal and run it. And you can see I got the data, right? And what is the correct order? So first I'm having the age as 19, 20, and the data set is also there, right? 22, 23, and then 25. So we got the data set as per the order of age in the ascending order, right? Now if I want it in the descending order, then just make this age as -1, right? Let's save it and let's go again to the terminal and run it again. And this time you can see I first got the age as 25, then 23, then 22, then 20, and then 19, right? So this is how we work with the sort query, right? Now let's go and move toward the skip plus limit, right? Let's first understand the limit, then I'll go to the skip. So for that, let's write skip. So how we write that? We just need to write const, not skip. Let me just first explain you the limit, right? That will be the better thing. So const limited equals to await collection dot find like this. So it will take out all the data set, right? And then dot, after that just put the limit, right? And limit, and then write the number of data or the limit that you want to set. So I want only 3 data set, so I'll put 3 and then 2 array. So how it is working? First of all, it is taking out all the data set that is present inside my collection, right? And then I'm putting the limit to 3, so it will take out only 3 data from the collection and presenting it to in the form of array, right? So let's just do one thing. Let's just print it. So console.log and print limited, right? Let's just save it and comment it down. Let's go to the terminal and clear it, and node index.js, press enter, and you can see, okay, what happened? I think it has not saved our commenting. That's why it is giving me two different data, right? So let's just save it again, and now let's run it again, right? So node index.js, and you can see here I'm getting only 3 data set. First Aman, then Ria, and then Karan, right? First Aman, then Ria, and the Karan. So among all these 5, I'm getting only 3 data set from here, from the top, right? So this is how we set the limit, right? This is how we set the limit in our MongoDB, right? Let's move forward toward the next query, which is about that how we do the skip and the limit, means the pagination type task, right? So skip plus limit, right? Just write const pagination equals to await collection dot find dot skip 2. I want to skip the first 2 data, right? Try to understand what I'm doing, that I'm doing the pagination task, right? So first of all, I'm taking out all the data, and then I'm doing the skip, right? And then I'm putting the limit as limit 2, limit as 2, and then 2 array. So it will do what? It will first skip the first 2 data, and then it will give me the next 2 data, right? So this is how the pagination also works, right? Yeah. So let's just save it, and after saving, let's just print it. So console.log pagination, let's comment it out. Yeah, let's save it and go to the terminal and write node index.js. So it should give me what? It should first skip this Aman, it should skip this Kriya, and should give me Karan and the Puja, right? Because the limit is 2. So you can see the first data set is Karan and the second is Puja. It has skipped these 2 and then given me only these 2, right? So this is how we work with it. Now let's move forward toward the next case. Now what's that? Now we are going to deal with the projection, projected, right? Which is projection. So let's just close it. This is very important, right? Because a projection is mainly which people don't understand in the first time, but it is very easy, right? Let me explain. Const projected equals to await, and then the collection dot find, collection dot find, and just put it like this. And now inside this find, we are going to deal with the projection, right? First of all, we will put this curly bracket, which means there is a no filter. So you can show me all the data set, you can give me all the data set. Then I put the comma here, and now I will write the condition for the projected. So we need to write this curly bracket, and here I'll write projection like this, and then put a curly bracket, colon, and now give the fields, right? So if I want, let's say, name, right? So we'll put the name as 1, and then put a comma, and age, and put it as 1, right? So what will happen? It will give me all the data set, but among those data set, I will get only the name and the age. If I don't want the ID, right? Earlier, if there's a present, you can see this is the ID. If I don't want this in the data, then what I need to do? Just put a comma here, after age and write underscore id as 0 like this, and then to array in the end, right? So this is how we deal with it. Now let's just print it and see that whether we are getting the data as per the need, right? Let's go to the terminal. Let's just clear it out and write node index.js, press enter, and you can see how clean data we get, right? I wanted only name and age, we got only name and age. I don't want this underscore id. Yes, the underscore id is not present now, right? So among the data we are not getting that city also. Why? Because we have not mentioned that, we mentioned only name and age. That's why we are getting only name and age, right? So this is how we deal with this uh, limit and sort and the project query, right? So I hope you understood the concept very clearly. This is all about today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.